Hello everybody, welcome back to Lucius. In the last video we butchered Jed the Butcher, and today we're going to be moving on, business as usual, murdering people. We're getting pretty good at it now. I think this is our 4th murder, and we get to go upstairs for this next part. I'm not going to bother with exploration in this video. I might do it in the next part just because this next case does take quite a bit longer. So I'm here in the living room and I'm going to move upstairs shortly. But one thing that I have neglected to mention, which is actually pretty important, is the crosses hanging on the wall. You might have seen them and they glow, and obviously Lucius doesn't like crosses. So what you need to do when you see a cross is you need to turn it upside down. And that way you'll be able to use your powers undisturbed. If there's a cross hanging on the wall, you won't be able to use your powers. Now, so far we've been pretty lucky. We've been able to use our powers, and the crosses really haven't bothered us too much. But there are going to be some later chapters where we're going to have to be really conscious of the fact that there are crosses about, so that we're able to use some of our powers. Alrighty. So we need to go upstairs. We can go upstairs through the lobby. Yeah, there's Javita, one of our maids, and she's kind of give us a little bit of a hint. She's talking about the next person that we're going to kill. We haven't met this person yet, but we will soon. We're going to go upstairs here. And if we follow our marker, we get to go into this room here, which is like a little office. For some reason, I always sort of get lost coming up here. It's not overly complicated, but there's a lot of rooms upstairs. So this is the lovely Agnes. She's obviously just so incredibly polite. So if we look at our notebook here, we have the lead maid, Agnes. She is the meanest of them all. Her cardinal sin, gluttony, might be something that will get her killed. I'll find a way to make her suffer. So obviously, Lucius does not like her. And we're starting to bring in the whole 7 deadly sins thing here. So that's kind of interesting. So we need to find a way to kill her with food somehow. And obviously we want to try and make it look like an accident as much as possible, or, you know, at least try and pin it on somebody or something. We don't want it to be obvious. So obviously we can't just, you know, choke her or strangle her or something. So what we're going to do is we're going to go see what Alistair's up to. I think our mom had asked us to go and see if Alistair needs any help. And as we saw in our little house tour, Alistair likes to hang out here in the billiards room. And we can find him over here. So he is trying to get rid of some rats. And he also wants us to get him a bottle of 1933 wine, which is going to be added to our chore list, so we can get around to doing that some other time. But if you try and look at the rat poison, obviously we're not able to take it because Alistair's looking right at us, and if we tried, we would be immediately caught. So we found the rat poison. I can't take this now because they'll know it was me. I need to come back here when everyone else is sleeping. Ah, okay. So that's how we're gonna do it. Probably not the most efficient way to kill somebody in terms of making it look like an accident, because obviously, you know, they could do a toxicology screening and they would find poison in her system. But you know what? That's okay, because at this point, tensions are rising. You know, it could be anybody. The list of suspects is growing shorter as people are dying. And again, who would suspect us, right? We're still not really seen as suspicious at all. So you want to go to your room when you're ready and go to sleep. That way you can wake up in the middle of the night. And we can do a little bit of sneaking around. Now before I leave, this item here also will give you like little hints in the form of riddles. So rodents don't like me, they die if they taste me. So obviously that's a little nod to how it is that we're supposed to kill Agnes. I've never used it. Like I said, when we got the item, I honestly never even really looked at it to see what it was for, but I did a little bit more investigation, and obviously that's kind of what it's, you know, used for. So for those of you who like riddles, that might be kind of interesting. Alright, I'm going to pull out my flashlight here, and I'm going to lock myself in the closet. Your mom is still awake at this hour, so unfortunately for us, that throws a little bit of a wrench in our plans. We can't just run around the house. We have risk of getting caught. And the reason I locked myself in the closet is because if you try to use the door to go downstairs, it's actually locked. So you need to wait for your mom to pass through and unlock the door, and then you can tiptoe downstairs. So I like to lock myself in the closet for a pretty significant amount of time, mostly because your mom walks very, very slowly. So I like to give her a lot of time to get downstairs, and then what will happen is she will go into the kitchen. So once she's out of the way, you have a straight path right to the outside door that will bring us into the yard. And along the way, we also see someone over there smoking, which is actually MacGuffin, which is a little strange because he said that he was gonna get a patrol to watch the house, but we have somebody to do that job. We haven't met him yet, but we have a cop here that's kind of patrolling the area, so I don't really know why he's here, but anyways, it's not important. Make sure you stand behind him so that he doesn't see you or detect you at all. And break the lamp above him. So that will make him kind of patrol the perimeter to see what the cause of the lamp breakage was. We can sneak up, open the door, and then we can come and retrieve the rat poison. So a little bit of stealth is involved, but not too hard. And now that we have our rat poison, we can pretty much finish up this case. So that is wonderful. All right.
Sorry, Lucius.
And if you talk to your mom from this point on, she kind of starts to lose it a little bit. Like, now she's, you know, just saying she's a little bit tired. She's not really her normal cheerful self. But as time goes on, she's kind of the one that starts to really just absolutely lose her mind. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on her dialogue. And you can see Javita was coming down the stairs. So what you want to do is come into the kitchen. You want to take out your rat poison, and you want to poison the... Oh, I want to poison the food, but I can't because she's coming down the stairs. You want to try and poison that food before Javita picks it up to bring it to Agnes. Because obviously then it'll look like she poisoned the food because she's the one that's bringing it, so... Not a very stealthy way of doing it, but still pretty stealthy in terms of blaming it on somebody else. So there we are. And we also get a new ability of mind control.
This is a clear case of poison, and I need to interview everyone in the house again. Who prepares the food around here now?
I think it was Jovita, but I can't imagine she would be capable of something like this.
Oh my God! Why is this happening?
It's for me to decide who is capable of what, Mr. Wagner. Would you consider vacating the house for a couple weeks until things calm down?
We can't possibly do that, Mr. MacGuffin. This is our home. We want to set things right.
The autopsy showed that she was poisoned. After questioning everyone in the house, it seemed nearly all of them had some reason to dislike her. Jovita, the Latina maid, was the one who brought food to her. But this wasn't enough to press charges. I had no evidence of tampering. Christmas was just around the corner, and I got an invite from Mr. Wagner to join them for dinner. I had my doubts about sharing a table with a possible murderer, but I had to know more. But before I had any chance to snoop around, something else happened. No witnesses, no evidence. Something that can happen only on some very specific circumstances. Right weather, right spot, and the right time.
Alright, we get to check out our new power. We've got another visit here. I hope he's happy with us, because these are getting more and more complicated as time goes on.
Listen, I have something else to teach you. You have the ability deep inside you to look into people's minds and tell them what to do. Let's unlock this ability together.
Alrighty.
Follow my instructions.
Just a side note, I was totally messing around, and I found out that if you flash your flashlight on him, you can see on the wall he'll be projected with horns, which is really cool. I really think that was a very nice touch. Totally random, but you don't really get to see that very often because he only comes at very set times. But anyways, we can use the new power we have here. We can point to the dummy to get them under our power. So we can use mind control on people. There are certain people that we are not able to use mind control on, but in this case, of course, we're just demonstrating it. So if you want to make someone use an object, click on them first, and then click on the object you want them to use. So obviously that can be a very useful power if used correctly.
Avoid detection and reap more souls for me.